was getting older, and they assigned her to desk duty, and she would work graveyard shift from 4 to midnight. And she took us down to a lady, elderly lady, a neighbor, who did really well watching us. It was amazing how she handled my brother and I. But she had one policy. Her house was a gun-free zone. So, somehow she had the idea that children with guns were dangerous, So there was one night where I saw on the news that they had found a severed hand of a gorilla on the Riverwalk in San Antonio. Now, the Riverwalk in those days was where you didn't want to go. It was a very dangerous place. We went back in '07 and it was like, all fixed up nicely. But when I was a kid, you just didn't go down there. So this poor gorilla went down there, probably got mugged, and gorillas don't carry money. They probably cut his hand off. I don't know what exactly happened, but they found a hand down there, and that was on the news. My grandmother's not showing up. It's like raining and thundering outside. Branches are moving against the window. My brother's laying in his bed. I'm laying in my bed. And, I just felt so helpless because, my brother, he's playing on that. I said, well, Ricky, where do you think the gorilla is? He said, stupid head, he's probably coming down our street right now. Like, why? Why would he do that? And he's like, because he's looking for the people that cut his hand off, and this is where he thinks they live, I'm like, oh my goodness. I was laying there, and it seemed to all make perfect sense at that one moment. The gorilla was going to attack us, And here I had no weapons. I didn't have my .22. I didn't have, BB gun, nothing. And but I finally went to sleep, and the next morning they woke us up and explained my grandmother had a nervous breakdown at work. And in those days, they put you in the mental hospital, so they put her in the mental hospital. So we're waiting for we didn't know the family. They're very sweet people. In Houston, they decided they were like distant cousins or whatever. They decided that they were going to take us to live with them in Houston. And man's name was James Spencer. He was just a really wonderful man. Came and picked us up in his car. And it was just a shock of leaving home, and everything was really, really frightening. So my brother and I, we decided we were going to sing our favorite songs to make the trip go easier. And in those days, the cars were really big. And this really mild-mannered man, just his wife's a former beauty queen. He's an insurance salesman, lives in a brand new neighborhood in Houston. After a couple of hours of hearing my brother and I sing La Cucaracha, ay, 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 we only knew the refrains over and over again. Finally, he just reaches back and he's trying to swat us, And we were really familiar with that technique, so we were down on the floorboard. He couldn't reach us, And finally, he got control of himself. He didn't know what had come over him, but we affected people like that, So we stayed with them for a while. Did terrible. They had all types of bizarre habits I wasn't used to. They made us take a bath every night. My grandmother only made us on Saturday, right? Does anyone remember the days you only took a bath on Saturday? Please, hopefully, yeah, okay. And they had the neat freaks. They had all of our clothes in the drawers nicely folded and everything, So my brother and I weren't really used to that, so we weren't very happy. But my grandmother got out and they sent us back. About that time, my dad got out of prison. He only did 5 years, And he wanted to get back in touch with us. He came to our house. My grandmother was so gracious with him.